Hey, everybody likes our snow videos, so I figured I'd cover a little bit of our snow environment. Here in Fairbanks, Alaska, we had a lot of snow lately. I think our plow guy visited like 4 times in a week. We kept getting snow, so here's where we pile up some of the snow back behind me. But here is my truck I use for hauling fuel and for doing some errands. But it's been sitting there for that's about 2 months worth of snow. So January and February. So I gotta dig the truck out, but before we dig the truck out, we gotta go dig the tractor out. So we use the tractor to do some cleanup of snow, but it's over here behind some snow itself. So we have to get it plugged in, get it heated up and started, and then we can get some work. But here's some video that will cover some of our snow activities. Okay, here we are looking at the snow that we have. The month of February has given us a lot of snow. It's now March. But that pile right there is a Honda four-wheeler we normally use with a plow for blading. And then that over there is a tractor that just got added to our fleet here last summer, but that has a little bucket loader and backhoe on it. But we have to go dig that out to be able to then go maintain some of our snow. So we have a plow that comes in and helps us do some of the big stuff. They were here like 4 times a week, so it's been pretty busy winter. The month of February, we saw them a lot. So this is what it's like. Sometimes I wear snow pants. Today I'm just wearing what we call gaiters. So gaiters cover the top of your boots, so when you go in the powder, it doesn't fill your boots with a bunch of snow. Anyway, that's the way we do it. Let's go see how we can get to the tractor. First, what we do is just like we shovel rinks, which I'll try to do some videos. I do a public rink downtown, but you shovel yourself a path. You have a snow plan, where your snow is going to go. And then we use pusher scoops, just like this here, because then it's not a lot of lifting. It's just a lot of walking. So you end up scooping the snow, then walking it where you want to dump it. Now, if wherever we plow snow, it sets up like concrete. So you try not to disturb the powdery snow if you know you're going to have to dig there. And you push as far back as you can in the fall because it builds up in the spring. And we'll show you a pile of that here. So what we do is we make a pile here, which is we're going to then be able to move it with either the plow truck or the tractor, but we get it out of our way where we need it. Where the plow truck plows it is into a dump pile here, and they can push up as pretty tall. And so that way it builds up, and then when it melts out, it's not a problem. So then the water goes downhill and it doesn't saturate our driveway. But that gives you some idea of how we store snow and how we move snow. So pusher scoops are a friend because you just scoot it along, and then when you go to dump it, you can then stack it up or pile it. If you leave it as a pile, it gets nice and hard. So that's how hard the piles are. But a lot of our viewership likes to see the snow, so here's the snow that we work with. So this shows the snow stacking up on just our wood post, how they cling on to one and the other. Then down here we have a sensor, but yet it's covered with snow. So if we come here and dig out the snow, then our motion sensor can then see things again. But it was all blocked by snow. So sometimes that goes off and lets us know when moose are passing through the area. But it just shows a little bit of our snow and how it stacks on even just a piece of wood, stacks on our power lines, stacks on our road signs, and also our street lights. I'll try to show some of the street lights get blown over. Then when they drop, sometimes we have wind that might blow it off, but once it sets up, it's really hard. So I'd show that a little bit. This is when I kind of miss our high school students. They're now college students. So they're away at college, and we sure miss their youthful energy that would normally be more hands out here helping with the snow. So many hands make light labor, kind of like ants. The more you have, the quicker it goes. The snow sets up good. It's pretty sugary at the base, but if you get enough crust, you can get a big brick out. so then you can move a big block at a time. Okay, here's the front bucket of the loader, little tractor. So we get that. The plug-in is over here on the left, on the right side. And left as you're facing it. But we're going to plug that in and get the engine heater going. That'll take a couple hours. But then that time we can brush off the tractor and kind of shovel out around it. Then we should be able to get it running. We can crawl out. But you can see a lot of this is just sugary, voluminous snow. And it's not wet and sticky. It's just very... It's like wallowing in sugar. But wherever we let it sit, when it sits overnight, one night it'll get hard, the next night it'll be even harder. So anything we disturbed will then be set up really hard, like concrete. Thanks. So we didn't have time last year, but this is kind of why we make kind of sheds or covers. So then you don't have to dig out the whole tractor. You just have a path to the shed, and then it keeps some of the snow off it. But I covered the seat and gauges, so it'll be real easy to clean those off. But I think the plan for the next year might be a snow shed. Okay, I found an extension cord with a plug in. We found the plug in, now to run the extension cord. We're running the extension cord over to the tractor so we can heat up the engine and block. So this will be plugged in for an hour for every 10 degrees below zero is a rough rule for engines. That makes sure you get the warmth and that the oil is ready to flow when you do start it. Sometimes if you force start engines at a colder temperature, and you don't get oil flow for a few 30 seconds, a minute or two, and it causes engine wear. It also creates a lot of pressure and it blows out the gaskets. So try to take care of your vehicles and preheat them, plug them in. Okay, so on this tractor, we have a multi-strip that has a couple heaters plugged in. And then we should be able to, a little bent up, but we should be able to get that plugged in. And it should start glowing, there we go. So that'll do the engine pan and the battery heater and stuff like that. So then we get to shovel the rest off. That's what it's all about. That's just a little bit how we manage snow. This is Alaska Road Trippers. We'll be seeing you on down the road.